Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the very first episode of Genprenuer, a show where we shine the spotlight on the amazing journey of young entrepreneurs who are redefining success. I'm your host, Carol. Today on the show, I'm thrilled and excited as we are joined by an incredible young woman who has made waves both in the business and digital space. She has built a business while balancing influence in the digital space as well. And that woman is no other than Emma Kamau. Welcome, Emma.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for having us in your saloon. Before we get into the nitty-gritties and everything, I'm sure everybody that's watching is just as excited and as curious as I am to know who is Emma Kamau.
I am a 25-year-old content creator and entrepreneur. That's pretty much my life. My work is my life, to be honest. Both content creation and being here is my whole life. Yeah, I love my dogs. and I'm very prayerful. I really believe in the power of prayer, and I also believe in kindness.
So let's take it back a little to the beginning of where it all started. If I'm not wrong, you first began with being an influencer before you even ventured into entrepreneurship. Is that so?
I did have a bit of a platform, but not something that I was monetizing at the time. The time that I started my content creation journey, I was already working. So technically, I've been working from 2016. It's just that people knew me after the fact. But I've been working for quite a while now, and it's been great. Content creation is something that flowed naturally after I had already started my business.
So what inspired you to start your own business, your own thing?
I always just knew that I didn't want to be tied to one place for a certain amount of time. I easily get bored. So even in my own space, sometimes you'll not find me because I like to be outside. I like to get ideas. I like to see what's happening. I like to be creative. So I knew for a fact that working a 9 to 5 is not something that was going to work for me personally. And once I realized that, I started actively taking steps to ensure that I created the type of life that I wanted for myself.
What would you say was your first love, or something that you had passion for even before you began, or even before everything that you're doing now outlined itself?
Initially, it all started with hair. I've been doing hair for a very long time. My sisters had a salon when I was in my teen years. So hair was where I initially started. And it worked well for a while, but I actually can't braid. Fun fact, I actually can't do hair myself. I'm just interested, but I can't braid hair myself. So what ended up happening is I used to just be sitting doing nothing whilst my girls were working for me. So in that time, I had time and I had the opportunity to find out what my own interests are, and I just monetized off of them. I never had a lot of free time during the day because I was always busy. I had class, I had work, I had so many things. So the only piece of free time I had was right before I went to bed. So because of that, I love pajamas. I love to sleep comfortably, just because that was the only time I had for myself. So I turned it into a business. Same thing as the headpieces. I was making a headpiece for myself. I was attending a wedding and a client was doing her hair and she bought it. So I turned it into a business. I love clothes, I love fashion, I love fragrances and smelling good. So I turned it into a business. It's just because I know that if I like something, meaning there are people like me who like it too. So I provide it. Actually, I was very strategic in the way I named my businesses. So they didn't happen by accident. I was very intentional with the way I was expanding. My main goal was to build a brand, which is Emma Kamau. I wanted to build it so well that when I decided to use that name in a business, I would make money. So that's why majority of my businesses except one will have my name, because I took the time to invest in my brand first, then I just use my name to help me make money.
How did you merge the two? Like when you started your business, that's Wigs by Emma, you were still in school. how did you balance the school life, the pressure that comes with campus life, the assignments and everything, and running a business full time?
That was single-handedly one of the most difficult seasons of my life, mostly because I was extremely young. So already with that, you're not making responsible decisions. And it was a lot because I was working very far away from where my house and school was, and I was working till about 6 p.m. So it was a very stressful time, but I told myself that it was not permanent. So I was willing to sacrifice myself, sacrifice my sanity, sacrifice a lot of my friendships because I was no longer available. Even just time with my family, a lot of things had to go on hold because I needed to pursue my career, my future. I really wanted to know exactly what I was doing before I graduated. I didn't want to start asking myself questions like, okay, now that I've graduated, what's next? What's my next step for life? I didn't want that. I wanted to have the graduation gown and the answers to my questions. So I sacrificed a lot of myself during that season, and I'll just try and fail until something stuck eventually.
How did you being an influencer play a role in establishing your businesses?
I remember when I first started to get some kind of attention online, the first thing I told myself was, I'll be my own brand ambassador, because at the time my business was extremely slow, like it was very small, so I couldn't afford what other influencers were charging for their services. So I decided to find a loophole and become my own influencer. So that's basically like how that portion of things went, and it worked out. I'm still my own brand ambassador for the most part, so I don't regret my decision.
We all know that starting a business at a very young age, you need finances. Yeah, so how was that for you? Did you get any assistance, or was it just you from the very beginning?
So I didn't get any financing or anything like that. I would want to say that a lot of people tend to think that if you want to start a business, you need to have all the money saved up. Like if your capital is 20,000, then you think that you need the 20,000 to start. You don't. How I started is I was working, I had a job in sales, I was selling hair. And I worked there for 3 months, and I asked my employer not to pay me for those 3 months. Yeah, so during that time I had my business already, so I was making wigs, I was doing what I could, making ends meet. Then I wasn't waiting to have a specific amount of money. If I maybe saw the braided wig that week, I would go to China Mall and buy mirrors, keep them under my bed. If I had more money again, I would go and maybe buy plastic chairs. So that way, when I was done working, my money was just for rent. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily need to have all the money. You don't necessarily need to have everything figured out. And if you can, just do things slowly, at your own time, at your own pace. Don't give yourself too many timelines, because it's going to just end up stressing you out so much, and you're going to hate your experience even before it starts.
So you've heard it. Take your time, relax, do it at your own pace. Your only competition is yourself. What was that one wow moment that when you started you thought, okay, I have really done something, or I have really made something out of my vision or my dream?
When I was quitting my job, a lot of my friends were against it, because at the time I was the only one who was working. And so it's like, you're the only one here in university who has a job, how are you going to quit? A lot of people didn't understand my vision, so that was a challenge of its own. It was very difficult to stop, but it was a worthy decision, and I personally don't regret it.
Let's take it away from business, from everything. Who is Emma outside of the business, outside from everything?
I am an extreme introvert. I enjoy my space a lot. I enjoy being alone. I enjoy reading. I enjoy watching videos about productivity and how to better myself. I'm fortunate enough to have discovered earlier on in life that I can actually do what I want. Like, I can actually just wake up and decide that I'm successful. I can wake up and decide that I'm hardworking. I can wake up and decide that I have an active lifestyle. So I enjoy things that feed my soul. basically. I enjoy working out. I enjoy spending time with my friends. I enjoy bonding with my family and just having a life of my own, even outside what I show social media. Because for me, social media is work, so I have to be extremely careful with what I show. I need to make sure I show what I feel comfortable showing, but outside that, my life is extremely quiet. I always say my life is like birds. You know, when you wake up in the morning and they're just chirping and it's quiet and it's peaceful, that's what I like. That's what I like my life to look like outside of work.
And how do you get to balance the three? Work, we have social media, we have the business part of it, and just your personal life.
For me, I look at social media as work, so it's not like a category of its own. Social media is my work. Even when I take pictures, it's because I'm taking pictures because I'm working. Yes. So it's not as difficult. Mostly when you know what's important at a specific time. Say, for example, a family member is, say, getting married, or they just need me to be present, then that's what's more important at that time. But when I have to work, then it's time for me to work. Then I'm very good at shutting what is not important at the time. I'm very quick to close that page to focus on what's most important at that particular time. And I feel like that has helped me a lot in terms of balancing. I wake up every day and I assess what's the most important thing I have to do today. And it's not always business. It's not always make money. There are certain things that are more important on certain days. So I just need to know what's important. I talk to myself a lot. That's why I like my own silence. Because I talk to myself so much, I know what is important to me and what's not. So it's not difficult for me to make decisions.
You mentioned the aspect of mistakes. What's one of the biggest mistakes that you made, especially when you were starting your journey?
The biggest mistake I made, I'm going to say, is that I didn't believe in myself. I allowed the thoughts and opinions of so many people, because like I said, social media is my work. Those are all people that follow you. So imagine having that many thoughts and opinions entering your head. I mainly validated myself based off of the way social media would respond to the things that I did. And if social media didn't respond well to what I was doing, I was miserable. So that's the biggest mistake that I made, not believing in myself enough to shut the voices of everybody around me and just focus on what I was doing. Because the second that I just locked in, the second that I just focused on, it's like, okay, Emma, what do you want out of life? What's the answer? How do you get there? Start doing it. And in all of that, there was no step that said ask for people's opinions. So I just stopped guessing. And once I stopped caring, once I stopped seeking answers or seeking, rewards or validation from people, my God, it's been blissful. I love it so much.
You've heard it from Emma. Believe in yourself. Nobody has a hold on you. Nobody's opinion has a hold of you. Yeah. So to excite it a little bit, I prepared a game. Yeah. I prepared a game. It's called This or That, so that we just get to know you a little bit more, to know Emma behind the brand and who she is. So I'll just ask you between, maybe let's say, chocolate or biscuits, and then you just tell me what you'd prefer between the two.
So do I say this or that, or do I just say chocolate?
You say chocolate. Okay. Yeah. Either brunch or dinner.
Brunch. I hate being outside at night.
Why?
Because nothing good happens at night. Okay. Yeah.
Would you prefer a dress or jeans?
A dress. Every single day. Every single day. Yeah.
Okay. Would you prefer makeup or no makeup?
No makeup.
Why?
Because it's less work. I used to be very insecure about my skin a long time ago, until I realized that I really don't care. I still think I'm beautiful. Now I just show up without makeup. I only wear makeup rarely. Like events like this, like an interview, you want to look polished.
Yeah.
Because looking good is a form of respect. When you go somewhere and you look presentable, it means that you respect the people who are receiving you. So in such situations, yes. But for the most part, no makeup.
Braids or wigs?
Wigs.
Why not braids?
Because I can wear a wig that represents my mood that day. Today I can be a redhead, tomorrow I can be a blonde, next day I have black hair. Can't really do that with braids. So
That's nice. Well, that's all the questions I had. Yeah. Before we even get to close, what advice would you have for a young girl or even a much older person that who feels like, okay, I have weighed down too much on myself and I can actually do something out of myself? What word of advice would you tell?
My biggest advice to somebody who is holding back from starting a business is you're wasting time. The reality of the situation is there's no one coming. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to do a business plan for you. Nobody is going to come and tell you to be disciplined, to exercise, to start your business. Absolutely no one. And I think that's a common mistake that we make, thinking that we have time. We don't. Life is extremely fragile, and it's so sad to end up living a life you don't want simply because you're not disciplined enough to make decisions that are going to better you. It's difficult to make decisions that are good for us. It's not easy, and that's what people don't understand. When people say business is hard, it's because you have to practice extreme self-discipline. Just start the business. Stop planning. You know, a lot of dreams die in the planning process because you're waiting for the right time. You're waiting to have enough money. You're waiting to have enough followers. You always keep on waiting for something. There's never going to be the right time. Quite all right, don't start things prematurely. You never want to disservice yourself in that manner, but don't use planning as an excuse for you not to chase your dreams, because before you know it, it's 2030, 2040, and you have done absolutely nothing with your dream. That dream that you have right now, somebody else has it, and they've started. You see what I'm saying? Big or small, they've started actually pursuing being successful in that industry whilst you're sitting and planning. Just get out of your own head. Even if you try and fail, you're better off having tried and failed than not trying at all. There's nothing in this life that hurts more than regret.
Yeah.
I hate having to regret anything in my life. So if there's any piece of advice that I can give you, all those excuses that you have in your head as to why you haven't started the business, we've heard them before. The market is saturated. I don't have enough money. I don't have this. Even when you don't have enough money, plan. What information are you consuming on your phone or your laptop? Are you researching ways to improve your business that's only existing in your head so far? Because what happens if you're blessed and money falls on your lap? What will you do? You will mismanage it. You see what I'm saying? Because you're not planning, you're not prepared. Always stay ready. That's just the rule of life. Always stay ready. And once you put yourself in this mindset of growth and development, you actually attract those things. If you set yourself up for, oh, I'm depressed, I'm always in bed, your house is dirty, your car has all your clothes at the boot, you're cluttering your space, so you're also cluttering your mind, and you'll never get anything done. Literally, I tell people this all the time, forget about everything, forget about everyone, all those insecurities, reservations, all those things that you have, just forget about them because they don't matter. Your walk in life is yours alone. Whether you have a husband, you've got kids, you've got a wife, at the end of the day, your day of judgment is yours alone. So focus on what you're doing. Be selfish, because being selfish only benefits the people you love. If you are educated and informed, when you see your niece or nephew, you educate and inform them too. You can't give people things that you don't have. But if all the time you're just worried about, oh no, Wizkid, Davido, it's nice to have things that we think about just to clear our heads. Sometimes I watch cartoons, I color, I try to paint now. I still do certain things for the sole purpose of relaxation, but that can't become your life. Because if you get so comfortable in always finding a way to become more comfortable, instead of you working on your business plan, no, let me just scroll through TikTok. Let me just do this. Before you know it, the whole day has gone and you're scrolling through TikTok, and what have you done? Absolutely nothing. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. No matter the situation that you came from, no matter how bad it is, someone came from worse and they're doing far much better than all of us. So that's just a piece of advice that I can give. Just completely ignore the world and just focus on what you want to do.
Well, thank you, Emma, for having us. Thank you for having us here. Thank you for sharing your inspirational story and just bringing us a little closer to your journey. Well, you've heard it all. Don't have excuses. Believe in yourself. Believe in your dream. All you need is you, your dream, and faith. Well, that has been it for now here on Genprenuer. Join us next time. And if you feel or you know somebody who is a young entrepreneur, you want them to share the journey, make sure that you comment or let us know through the number that will be scrolling down on the screen. For me and Emma, it's Bye-bye.